This is Lahna Turner, and you're listening to The Break It Down Show.
And now, The Break It Down Show with Jon and Pete.
Yeah, that's Lahna Turner, host of the Perfect 10 podcast. And we're at Barney's Beanery.
Yeah, in Burbank.
In an L.A. Iconic joint. And you've lived in L.A. for years and you've fucking never eaten here?
I've never eaten at Barney's Beanery. I've driven past the one on... I go more into the Hollywood side, so there's one that I drive past probably almost
all the time.
And I've just never gone.
Yeah.
I know, this is a staple. Like, this is a party place, a beer hangout, a go see the game kind of joint. I just never...
Well, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, it looks good. I don't know what to eat. There's, tons of good things to choose from.
There's tons of good things to choose from.
So you've got a podcast called The Perfect 10 Podcast. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Sure, it's ever evolving, right? Do you guys feel that way too?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like I'm always trying to figure out what to do next, but it's doing so good. I'm so proud of my little podcast. I really am. It's so fun, and I love doing it. And it's really just a great opportunity to hang out with friends, as is this.
Yeah.
But I always feel like as long as I have somebody on that's not talking about something that they've talked about on another podcast, then we're good. Because once something lives on the internet, it's there forever, and we don't need to talk about it again. Plus, I also am not super celebrity driven. I'm more, what do you have to share? I want to know what... I feel like everybody is famous now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. If you're the guy who lives next door, everybody lives on the internet somewhere and has some story about themselves. Google anyone, you'll find some shred of something.
Right.
So I always feel like there's some nugget inside of every person that could be most every person that could be pretty cool,
Well, that's a really nice thing to say, but yeah, not everybody.
Not everybody has that nugget.
Some people it's not that not everybody has the nugget. It's that some people are more interesting than others.
Or maybe you just can't get it out either.
Yeah.
I always think that it would be really fun to do an interview.
Hey, it's Nina.
Oh, hey, Nina.
Hey, Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Are you going to take our order?
I am here to take your order if you're ready.
If we're ready. I don't
Sure,
know
we
if
can
Lana's
figure it
ready.
out.
I am ready. I said look up what I was ready for.
You know what? I'll take the lunch special. It comes with fries. Can I get my fries extra crispy? Yeah.
I'm a little under the weather, so I'm thinking chicken noodle soup. Is it good? All right. You guys, do you make it here? Is homemade soup?
It is homemade.
Aw, that'll make me feel good then. Thanks.
I want to try your Parmesan Brie chicken breast on a sourdough loaf sandwich thing with mac and cheese. Yes.
So you guys are doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost went chili, but then I saw chicken noodle. I'm kind of fighting something today. I've had a very LA day because I went and got the juice thing that's supposed to. It's
oh shit.
You go to the juice bar and
Yeah.
you get the sinus cleanse and it makes you want to vomit.
What's in that thing?
It's cayenne pepper and lemon juice and ginger and I don't know, some semen. It's gross.
Right now, there's a.
It is in West Hollywood.
That's 4 ingredients. I've tasted 3 of those 4 ingredients.
And one of them wasn't
You
chili
guys
pepper.
probably accidentally tasted a little semen at some point. I mean,
Well, that was first on the list.
I was, yeah, accident.
Oh, you've never had ginger. Okay, I'm sorry.
I appreciate that
Or maybe it was
you
on
assumed it
Ginger's
was an
list.
accident. I just assumed that everybody did that in college. Anyway, there are listeners in the middle of the country right now who are like, ginger, and went through your list of ingredients and just went, I've never tasted any of that shit.
Not mixed together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's and you do this. It's like a shot, and then it clears out your sinuses.
It does not sound like it tastes good.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible, but it works.
And
Every
that
time I
shot
think
was
I'm
probably
getting
like
sick.
$9.
Yes.
So you get a
It
$9
was.
shot
It was
that is
and another
god-awful.
pretentious LA thing, a thing of coconut water, like fresh pressed
Right.
coconut or whatever it is. And then it's like a $14. It was like, are you kidding me? But it does make you feel better.
Yeah.
How long until we
And then
find
I
out
put a mask on and I
Yeah.
breathed
Yeah.
oxygen in and out for
Yes.
35 seconds, and they charged me $8 for that.
How long is it going to be till we find out that coconut water is actually the wrong thing to drink, and now it's going to be carrot water?
It's always the wrong thing,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
There's really no right. I feel like it doesn't matter. We're all dying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at some point, it just
How do you enjoy prolonging it?
yeah.
Coconut
exactly.
water will
You're the
always
best.
be right.
I love it. It's
Always
yummy.
be right.
I just like things that make me feel good.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's alcohol. It's just, and that
Yeah.
might not be good for me. But if it's
All things in moderation.
yeah.
What do
You
you
had
like
to
to
learn your
drink?
bad lessons.
When
sometime.
you're drinking, what do you drink?
Oh, again, I'm very pretentious. Like if I'm going to drink, I'm not a frequent drinker, so I like really good high end. I've actually walked up to a bartender before and been like, "What is the cuntiest drink you make?" And then they'll make me something with cucumber and jalapeno in it, and I'm like, that's amazing.
The cucumber jalapeno thing and we have to shave
God.
something, and we have to use this tool that no bar has.
I love it. There's a guy that I go to this place sometimes where he'll make a drink with a little bit of egg white in it. Like, you know what I mean? Have you ever had that?
That goes back, though. Remember, like, Ramos Fizzes from the 20s
back to the cum in the semen.
Yeah. You're trying to go to the Ramos Fizz and hide your cum addiction. And she's like, I already know.
That's true. That's true. Yes. I'm really trying to minimize my cum addiction.
So funny. No, I mean, it's something, like, I don't drink very often, but when I do, I like it to be good. That's all, you know?
Fair enough.
And then you don't feel so shitty the next day either.
I like to enjoy scoffing at artisanal. Like, this is artisanal bread or artisanal shoes or art. Like,
I didn't even know what that meant.
Just call it shitty one-off stuff you didn't do right in the first place. You know, just
is that what that means? Artisanal, like it's sort of like flawed.
It's like it's the thing that the guy makes in the mountain village in the Alps,
like artisan.
And every time they make one, someone runs up to the belfry and rings the bell that's been there since 1412 or whatever.
It's one of a kind.
Yeah,
right.
No, there's no artisanal bread doesn't exist.
Right. Yeah. It's just bread.
Unless you made it in your kitchen.
Right, and there's some lady in the kitchen, but she's in the Ralph's making it, you know, and then putting the word artisanal on it. Like,
you're right. I never thought about that. You're right. That's annoying.
It is annoying.
Yeah, I didn't put it. I didn't even know what it meant. I just buy it because
this is artisanal gasoline from Chevron.
Only for your car.
Yeah. But it's got pulp and cucumber shavings. And
in the gasoline.
Yes.
Right. It's really just shitty gasoline.
Yeah.
Do you come up to Burbank often?
Not talking. Well, Flappers is right up the street, so every now and then I do a set there.
Okay.
And I don't live far from here, so yeah.
Where are you? Where are you typically working? You come up here to Flappers every once in a while.
To do stand up?
Yeah.
I do like the Improv or the Comedy Store or local bars or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oddly enough, I have really good friends with a comic. Amazing comic and really great character person. Somebody you should interview for your show, actually, Stoner Rob. He legally had his name changed to Stoner.
Nice.
Because he's such a big weed guy.
Yeah.
He has dispensaries, he runs and operates. Like, he has a big business out in the Inland Empire, and he hires me all the time to do these gigs. I'm not a stoner, but my act goes over really well, I guess, with high people because I play songs, and so, like, I've got a regular thing happening where I go out and work with Rob all the time. I'm doing a festival, huge festival. There's going to be like 80,000 people at this thing. It was supposed to happen a couple weeks ago. They had to bump it back. I think it's in October now because of the fires. They had to empty the fairgrounds.
Wow.
So, yeah. Wow. So I don't know. I just wherever, honestly, these days wherever I can. I just did in the Valley, actually not far from here. I did a nudist comedy show.
I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah. So I mean, I do anything.
Waffles, just nude.
Just nude.
Right.
Yeah, the waffles are on my. If you go to my site, I have a picture of me with just waffles. It's from a bit that I did on a little short. So I just posted because it gets a lot of positive attention. I get like, yeah, that's why I need attention so I can try and push this needle forward on this career, right? Whatever I can do.
Well, very quickly before
nudist comedy.
We're going to talk about nudist comedy, but will you just give our listeners your Twitter handle? Oh,
sure. It's just my name. Just look up Lahna, Lahna Turner, Turner, and you'll find me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our listeners like to read and listen at the same time.
Yeah.
Go ahead and look up.
That's it. It's
Lahna.
like pat your belly and tap your head or whatever, or circle your belly.
Yeah.
Read and listen.
That was neat what you just did. I wish you guys could have seen that. Let's talk about nudist comedy. You did the show at a nudist colony.
No, it wasn't a nudist colony. It was just a theater that the guy that ran the show runs shows and does like acting classes out of this little theater.
Okay.
So roughly a year and a half, 2 years ago, I did a different nudist show for a different guy. It was the first time I ever did it, and I had like panic attacks.
It was just a guy, and he was like, "Would you mind doing the show naked?" And she was like, "Oh, if you insist,
I'll make
I'll perform
burritos
for you."
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was really. I mean, it's pretty gross. I'll be honest. But the first time, after I finished, I was like, "I'll never do this again." It was just a one-time thing. But it's been about a year and a half, and the guy called me and kind of was a little persistent, and I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what, why not? For probably the best thing that came out of it is the audience who goes to these shows are pretty loyal fans afterwards, and I mean, we kind of like get
you
together.
Sort of join their community in a peripheral way,
literally. I mean, I'm diving in, all the way in, so to speak, right?
All the way in.
But also, it's incredibly challenging. So, I mean, at this point, I've been doing stand-up a long time, like 17 years. And getting nervous before you get on stage or being challenged, it's always a exciting thing right before I get on stage. But to feel the fear of being in front of a bunch of nude people and being nude is a whole different realm of, I got to get into the right headspace and be able to do this. And it was awesome. It was fun.
Now that you put it that way, it sounds like it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it really was. It was interesting.
It's a whole different thing. I mean, your anxiety and all the stuff that you have to do, and then suddenly you're like, "Fuck, this is a whole different
world."
thing.
Yeah, but also look how much fun it is to talk about. I mean, like, it was such a tiny theater that there was only a little area in the back to sit in, like a tiny green room. It was directly behind the stage, and then that's where the bathroom was for the entire theater. So the performers when they do a regular show, that's where people would hang out, and that's where the audience goes. So they took an intermission. I guess they had, I don't know, a bunch of comics do a short set, and then they had a feature, myself, the headliner. So in between, everybody had to use the bathroom.
Right.
So I was sitting in the back, and there was just like a train of guys, mostly men, in this line to use the bathroom, and it was hilarious to me. It was like a porno train going into.
Yeah.
It was
Are they just a
wearing
line
shoes?
of dudes.
Most of them were wearing shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just like different dicks walking, like different sizes, different shapes, different types, and it was a dick education for me because I'm a little dick ignorant, I guess.
Right.
I shouldn't put little in front of that, but just kind of dick ignorant. And so I got to
way to redo the
kind of all
qualifier
are
there.
ignorant, you know. I mean,
yeah, to see
Speak
that
for yourself.
many.
So I
Speak
would
for
be infatuated with the shoes. I would not be able to contain my curiosity about
What people
the shoes,
chose, the footwear they would
because is it
choose.
like how many people are wearing Crocs? I mean, how many people are wearing like espadrilles? Who's wearing flip flops?
If you want to identify something about somebody, maybe their socioeconomic stance, whatever, something about them outside of just looking at them and getting to know them.
Yeah.
right.
What do you have to reference? I mean, maybe a watch, maybe a pair of shoes. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's
What kind
it.
of shoes
Kinda
did you wear?
disconcerting. I wore what I wore to the event. I didn't even think about the fact that I was only going to end up wearing them, but little cropped cowboy boots. So it's kind of hot.
Yeah,
I
Sure.
didn't do it on purpose.
right. It just worked out that way. Like
Yeah.
that's what you showed up in.
Yeah.
and you're like, I don't need the rest of this.
But I'm not taking my shoes off.
Right,
Because
yeah. Because that's not
If I
about
don't
being
have
But
nude.
if you
That's-
had made a
God
fashion
forbid somebody would
choice,
have seen my toes,
right. Goodness gracious.
my feet.
We're not trying to be
They're
lewd.
not manicured, yeah.
Right.
Eh.
that's pretty good fashion choice though for that situation.
Yeah, no, actually, it worked out well that I had like little cowboy boots on. Kind of cool.
I think the story that you escaped with too. Who gets to say that? I mean, there's
But then
a
they've done-
zillion comedians, and nobody gets to say
That they perform nude.
Yeah.
I've
Twice.
Twice, yeah. I've had a couple of comics ask me where it was because they're interested in doing it, but most people are like, "Whoa, I wouldn't do that."
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. What I didn't want was anybody to take a picture because
Yeah.
Sure.
and nobody had their cameras, and everyone was
They're
so
not about
respectful.
that, though, right?
No, they're not.
Yeah.
So
And they want the same respect and going to
yeah, I
extend the
guess.
same respect they want.
I don't know. I mean,
think.
I don't get it, to be honest with you. It's not something I would participate in as far as, like, I'm not... If I want to go see a show, it wouldn't make the show...
Better if everyone was naked.
No.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I don't either.
I don't... But for them, they're... What is it, like naturalists?
I'm not knocking it,
Yeah.
but I don't get
It's
it
not
either.
your thing.
I was at a nude beach with my wife one time. We were just there, and it was a nude beach, so we were like, "Fuck it, we'll be naked." We're just.
I like getting naked.
That's fun.
It's fun.
Sure.
Yeah, and on the beach, I mean, you're avoiding tan lines, all that shit. But we're sitting there, and then I heard a flute, like a bamboo flute, like Kwai Chang Caine walking through town would play, and I was like, "Oh, come on, with the flute, really?" And I looked over, and this guy came walking down the beach.
Oh my gosh, look at this food.
I was gonna say something, and then all of a sudden, it was like not worth saying.
Thank you. Wow, this looks so good. Look at all this food.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Do we want
I am
go
about
stop
to
and
be
eat?
so happy.
You,
Thank you.
Would you prefer any ranch?
And do you have any Tabasco, or is this a different kind of hot sauce?
I'll
Yeah,
grab some, I'll be right back.
terrific.
this looks great. Thank you.
Tell us what you're doing next.
Okay. Well, it's not so much next. It's more like all year long. So, like, a little over a year ago, my whole life kind of fell apart and started the process of unraveling my marriage. Like, I was with my I'm still not divorced, so I guess it's like soon to be ex, or I have no idea when the Band-Aid's going to actually get ripped off. It's the most long, drawn out, fucked up process, but it started over a year ago, and I've been really blessed. It's like, I think that there's like balancing forces in the world, like, or the universe, right? Like, so somebody whom I thought I had all these plans for a future and I thought my life was going a certain way. Turns out it's no longer going that way. So I had to figure out what next. And I do musical comedy, and I have a friend of mine who is one of the former heads of Warner Brother Music Division. Like, he's brilliant, like super awesome, beautiful home he paid with, for music. Brilliant guy. And I just took a shot. I just said, hey, Norm, would you be interested in recording a comedy music album? And he was like, yeah, that sounds great. He had time. And it blew my mind. I was like, really? Yeah, I'd love to. Seriously? Like,
so
really?
he's putting his hands on it. He's not just an exec. He's recording it with you.
Well, he's not with Warner Brothers right now. He's on his own, and he's got his own gigs. And he's when I say he's brilliant, I mean, he took my great comedy stuff and made it just amazing. So we recorded 10 songs over a year, and I would go into his studio, and literally I would cry on the couch in the studio as if it was a therapist office, because I was going through such a dark time. And we took it all and made it into just brilliant comedy music. And I got to the end of the year, and we just recently mastered the project. That's the last thing you do to the audio. And today we're actually finalizing the cover album art.
Wow.
Wow.
But we looked at it, and I was like, oh, my God, all 10 songs are about my divorce.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's ever been done. Like, it's basically, it's like a jagged little pill, of comedy. And so I'm really excited about that. And that's its own little nugget. But what happened that followed up with it was around the same time when I approached Norm about doing my album. A friend of mine, Joey G., who's a comedian and producer out of Florida, called me up and goes, hey, Lahna, do you happen to have any ideas for a film script? Have you ever written a script? I go, well, I have a couple of ideas. And I pitched him one, and he loved it. And so, I'm getting more water. Thank you. So, anyhow, he loved my script idea, and I sat down and I wrote it and would pitch it back and forth with Joey, and we worked on it all year, and we started getting financing together to produce this movie. And over the summer, we were planning on shooting it in June, and we came up with we have a great investor. This woman gave like $80,000, and we had another investor we had dinner with who was going to also get on point, and we thought, well, great, we're good to go in June, and that other investor pulled out. So I'm still scheduled to be in Florida for the same couple of weeks. And I said to Joey, I was like, you know what? You've got the ability to shoot some music videos. Would you mind? I've got this album. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. What if I put it up on iTunes? What's it going to do? Maybe sell a few downloads. I don't know. Nowadays, nobody downloads anything. I said, but maybe if I can get a couple good music videos together, something will go viral. You never know. Yeah. And so I said to, anyways, he and I start batting things around, and we come up with this idea. So, because, are you all familiar with Beyonce's Lemonade? Mm-hmm. The movie that she made about Jay-Z and cheating on her and everything. I don't know if you've seen it. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. I've always been a Beyonce fan, not like a huge fan, but after seeing that, I was just like, oh my gosh, that music is so good, and the production is amazing. And so Joey and I decided we're not going to shoot one video. We're going to shoot all the videos.
Wow.
So we shot 9 videos. The 10th song is an outro for us to run credits under, which is actually one of my favorite songs. And we wove them together into the first ever comedy visual album, and it's called Limeade.
Yes.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
It's so good, but here's where, again, the universe, when I tell you, I couldn't stop crying for a year. Like, every day I was just in the worst spot. I was heartbroken, and I got given this gift. Joey hooked me up, man. We went to, he's a graduate of Sales University, which is a film school in Florida. Mm-hmm. And he said, I've got this all, don't worry, girl, I got your back. We're going to do this for you. And I kind of thought, film school, film students, there's going to be some kids with some cameras shooting some videos. Right. It's going to be like Blair Witch, you
Yeah,
know, like they sort
right.
of shitty, like, which is a great movie, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That kind of
right.
like...
Yeah, a little grainy, a little handheld.
Yeah. I show up, and I am not even kidding you. I think I got $200,000 worth of production. I'm not even making it up. We shot it on the same camera that they shoot all the Oscar films on.
Yeah.
The camera rents for at least $3,000 a day. I did a couple days shooting in LA too before. So altogether, it was about 8 days of shooting, 12 to 15 hours a day. In Florida, I had a 30-person crew, a backlot,
Wow.
a sound stage. We had professional off-the-charts lighting.
Yeah.
I had DP. I had a director. I had two directors because
You had
Joey
a
was a
legit
director.
full-on crew.
A full-on film.
Yeah.
And it looks awesome. I'm starting to get back my edits right now.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. I don't know exactly where we're going to post it or what we're going to do with it yet. We're still figuring it out, but I just know we have something special. And I'm really excited. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I need something in my life because I just have to have draw. I want to support myself with my comedy. I want to be able to support my kids and not have to ever look back.
Well, I'm kind of blown away. I mean, Pete and I talk about Jagged Little Pill all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to say that it's a Jagged Little Pill of comedy,
Yes.
I mean, that's the only thing that Jagged Little Pill missed, was that it so captured the heartache of the experience, and at some point it's got to get all so absurd that you have to laugh at it, right? So, I mean, usually in the stages of you guys know more about the stages than I do. At one point, isn't there a stage where you just go, fuck it, and just start laughing at it because there's nothing left to do, and you drained yourself of emotions for the experience?
I like that you said the word stages because like anything, a breakup is a death. A loss of a marriage is something is dying. It's
Right.
not, and I thought always that when people divorce, they fall out of love. I obviously don't have the same sense of love for my ex as I did because it's just impossible to hold on to that. But I do feel like it's not so much the loss of the love, but it's the loss of your dreams for the future you put together with that person.
Yeah.
And so as all of that dies, you physically hurt. I did. I felt pain one night when it really hit me. I actually took pictures of my face because I didn't recognize my face. So much pain went through my body. Like pain, like shot up and down and it wouldn't stop. And I've never felt that before, but anyhow, there's the mourning process, same as losing a loved one.
Yeah.
And so when we did Limeade, we did the 5 stages of mourning.
Nice.
And so we go through the whole thing, and in the end, I'm a survivor. But it really is. You're right. There are stages, and it is. I mean, it's hard to laugh at it because you're something died.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a common experience, and when there's common experience and pain, there's comedy.
Yeah. Wow.
And you're doing it right because the best art often comes from that place of love and pain, and it's like a Zeppelin thing. We're like, this song I love her, this song I hate her, this song I love her, this song I hate her. Now I'm in Lord of the Rings. Now I love her, now I hate, back and forth. So you have that ability with this where you're drawing from the very well that all the best stuff comes from.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think my ex gave me a gift inadvertently. I don't think he intended to, but he gave me my freedom. I mean, I spent the last 18 years of my life investing in him and his career nonstop. I mean, we spent so much money on his career and energy and time and focus. And then I also, which I will never
Did
ever...
you guys buy Dave Matthews' bus or something?
Yeah. One of his buses is now his tour bus. It's still ours right now, but... Yeah, I mean, it was a fun thing. We had a good thing. I don't understand dismantling it, but I mean, look, I don't want to get too into it, but look, I bought that bus. I am the one that shot for it. I'm the one. I did so much work for what I viewed as our business because it's a business. Life is full of all kinds of things, and I also spent all these years raising 2 children. I've got a 7 and a 9-year-old, so now I'm a single parent, and I'm trying to backtrack and piece it all back together again. And yeah, he gave me a gift because I guess he gave me my freedom and he gave me the pain to create great comedy that I needed to be able to create my own self-independence. So yeah, I don't think it was ever intentional.
Yeah.
But thank you, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking
Thank you, motherfucker.
piece of fuck. And I don't want to say it at all too much, but yeah, fuck it. I didn't want. It could have been really nice, you know. We could have just gone on the same path and had a fucking good thing, but it's a different path now.
Didn't we almost have it all?
Didn't we almost have? Yeah, it's good.
So when you were, where did your comedic muse live before? I mean, the pain thing, and yes, he's created this opportunity for you, but let's be honest.
Oh, I was funny before.
What's that?
I was funny before.
No, right.
Yeah.
So what enabled you to be funny before? You didn't have to use this pain. So what?
I mean, everybody has pain, right? Every comic's kind of fucked up, right? So I'm definitely not without that going into the relationship. I mean, there was shit that happened that put me in the fucked up relationship that I was in with him because we repeat our patterns. We do things that we...
Sure.
So, like, yes, I had enough shit going into it in my own head to be funny. But this just focused it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This was just
podcast
a funnel.
is titled "Look on the Bright Side."
Look on the bright side. Always look on when life goes to shit. Yeah.
I'm not sure that's how that went.
Yeah.
And did you change gears from Monty Python song to...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, this is John Leon Guerrero.
Hey, and this is Pete Turner.
And if you like the show,
do us a favor.
Yeah, share it.
That's the biggest thing, honestly.
All your social media outlets, all your friends, let them know the ones that you like.
Yeah. I mean, we make this show for you guys. If you think it's great, say so. Say so by sharing it. Say so by putting a comment in after the show.
Also, if you go to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts, give us a rating. Give us a review. If you think the show is great, please give us 5 stars and say so. And if you think the show really sucks, please give us 5 stars and say so.
Because, heck, we're listening.
That's right.
You can't be more approachable than us. We want to make the show better. If there's something that we're missing, let us know. That really is how you help us.
That's right. Tell us all about it. Thanks for listening.
And now back to the show.
Yeah, no, I mean, I always kind of came from me, like some comics write about political stuff or stuff in the news or whatever. I've always kind of been very like about me, what I'm doing, what's in my life. What I find funny is something that I did today or whatever, or something my kid did. So in a way, the fact that life took this really unexpected turn, it just gave it more. That's where my focus is going to go with my writing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. So it's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I'm all happy. I'm not. I am angry and I'm very hurt by what happened, and it will take a long time, but I am in a happier place and I'm better for it, and I know that now.
And you're also doing what's exactly normal too. I mean, you're getting better and you're figuring out what better is now, you know, because it's totally different.
I'm not taking care of somebody who didn't want to take care of himself.
Right.
I'm in a better spot.
Yeah.
And so that's a great place to be. I mean, I have enough to do just taking care of young kids. Like, they're demanding. And we got a dog, too, so I've got a third. She's really easy, though, but yeah. So just taking care of myself. Sometimes, you know, you wake up in the morning with kids, and then when do you get your shower?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Lucky if I get one in, you know, some days.
Right.
So, yeah.
Thanks for the visual.
Yeah. I did take one today, so you guys are lucky.
We were special.
Lucky.
Although we're in the valley now, so it didn't help much. It's so hot down here.
It is hot.
So funny.
We are in the sun at Barney's Beanery, having a great time with Lahna Turner, at Lahna Turner, LAHNA TURNER. So look her up if you haven't already, and follow her on Twitter, and look forward to Limeade. Now, when will we start seeing these videos?
So I don't even know what the word. I was very excited and said it's going to be ready in September, and it's not ready yet. And we're hedging towards October. The music is ready, but we're just taking our time and making sure it's perfect. So I'm just now getting back the first. I've seen some of the first edits on the movie, and then once the movie is ready, then it's also a question, because originally I was just going to launch these onto YouTube. And I'm prepping my YouTube. I've done a lot of work in the past few months getting that up and ready, just in case that's where it ends up. But I'm hopefully, you know, who knows where it's going to end up. But if it just goes on YouTube, that's incredible. I'm very happy with that. But we're just not sure yet. I've got so many great people that have helped me thus far. I don't want to limit it. So
yeah, and you don't know what that body of work is going to create too. Because I could absolutely. I mean, this is what Netflix does. They take your life and they're like, let's just do kind of like Louis C.K.'s show, you know, where he just goes and you do have this moment-to-moment kind of comedy style, you know, and you have this life-changing event, you know. It would be awesome to watch you do.
Something's on the horizon, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what's really cool, too, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but the original movie that I wrote with Joey that we were originally trying to get funding for, we're still trying to get funding for that, and it's looking really promising. So I'm hoping that will be my next project. That's kind of what I'm lining up, because it's always about what's the next thing I'm going to work on.
Right.
And so I'm really hoping that comes to fruition. But
so
you're
from
right,
album to video collection to feature,
maybe TV show. I'd love. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen next. But honestly, I just want to be able to tour and make a living and have people come out and enjoy my stuff and maybe sing along and that type of thing. But people are really reacting positively to the content when I play it live. It's really fun. Yeah. It's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun on stage right now.
Well, you've gone from, I mean, a lot of people really just knew you. Like you said, you invested so much of yourself into your ex's career that you were his wife more than you were nurturing your own comedic career. And now it's time for your emergence.
Well, it's really cool because what I've noticed this year, especially with doing my podcast, like the podcast used to be his and mine together, a lot of people don't even know who my ex is, which is great because we haven't mentioned him on here. I mean, if you Google him, you'll figure out who my ex was, but it doesn't even matter. Nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody cares that much about what he's doing. Nobody who reaches out to me cares. They're interested in what I'm doing.
In you.
Yeah. Which is when I have to tell you, when I first started, when the separation first started, I was really like, I identified myself so much with him. I was like thinking it was going to be really hard to create a separation. And people don't even associate it. The most reaction I get online now is, "You're fucking kidding! That was your husband?" That's usually the DM I get from people. Were you married to that guy? Really? That's it.
Well, I mean, your Perfect 10 podcast went from being a punchline to something where, like, there's a smoking chick. It's a Perfect 10 podcast.
I thought about changing the name. I thought about a lot of things. In fact, I thought about letting it go. I was like, maybe I should just stop doing it, because when I created it, it was format for him, not for me. It was how do I create content for him, because it's so important to have a podcast, so important to keep that weekly content coming out and being, just relevant.
Just a constant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, so I really sat down and thought I'll just quit. And then I was like, fuck that. Yeah. I'm not quitting anything. You know what? Let them just throw me off of the network before I quit. I'm not. And you know what? And they never have. And my podcast keeps building. And it's one of the ones that they said is building faster than any of the other ones on the network. Apparently, I don't want to say for sure.
It's a whole different appeal. I mean, you guys did have a great podcast that was a thing. Now it's not that thing anymore at all.
It's not.
It's completely different, and it's its own thing, and it stands alone, and it's hilarious.
Thank you.
So, and I don't want to over-compliment you, but you are smoking hot.
Thank you.
I'm happily married, and I'm
like
completely harmless. But
he likes a hot mess.
No, I do. I like a hot mess. I mean, you're a blue-eyed brunette. You're like Superman's sister.
Oh, thank you. That's so Lois Lane.
That's Lois Lane wishes.
Aww,
the blue-eyed brunette look is so unique. I mean, and your eyes aren't even really blue. You have to look at them and figure them out.
Stop.
So,
well, please,
you guys look on the web. I mean, all you have to do is Google Lahna Turner, Lahna Turner, and also at Lahna Turner if you haven't already followed. This is a chop that we don't use very often, but I've learned from Jay that you got to keep plugging the Twitter handles and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
We're trying to get better at that. So everybody follow Lahna Turner. The look is a unique look.
Thanks.
And
well, I mean, there aren't that many female comedians to begin with, and it's a growing pool, which is awesome. There's been so many great women in the last few years who've really pushed out and become massively successful.
Yeah.
And beautiful women have been able to push through, and that's really cool. But there's just not that many, really, and so I'm one of I fit in that group.
Yeah. Well, it starts with hilarious. It has to absolutely be the very beginning, because when we go down the list of super hot, hilarious comedians, you don't get to be on the list if you're not hilarious. That's just not how it works.
Yeah.
Right.
So the thing that you have working for you, though, is when you have the combination and you are hilarious, then it's almost like guys who are fans of comedy, which, when you look out in the audience, is comedic fandom driven by dudes?
What do you mean, like,
Well,
guys,
nerd fandom, for instance. If you go to a Star Trek convention, you're going to find males and females there. But that fandom is driven by dudes. What do you think about comedy? Because I think this is my very narrow observation, but dudes put a higher premium on funny, to me. And it could just be, I'm just hang around dudes who put a premium on funny.
That's a tough question for me. I mean, I don't know. There's all different levels of people who go to comedy shows. I mean, there are people who are huge fans of comedy, and then there are the people who just, this is their one night of the year that they're going to spend their ticket money on, and they want to come out and have a good time. And then there's all different kinds of clubs too. I mean, there's, little tiny shitty B room clubs that are so much fun, but it doesn't. You might get in for free and have to buy 2 drinks, but you're going to have a good night.
Yeah.
And you're not going to care who's on stage. You just want to go and laugh and hope you get somebody that appeals to your sense of humor.
Right.
But there's something for everyone, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, you might say, yeah, there are more guy comics who like this type of comic, but I mean, and then same thing for women. I mean, there's certain comedians that are going to appeal to a female audience more so than a male audience.
The audience
maybe,
is going to come
but
to
I hate to generalize anybody's sense of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, I love raunchy, fucked up, dark comedy.
No.
Yeah, I do. I love it. But I mean, there's all different.
You can listen to one 10-second segment of any episode of the Perfect 10
and
podcast.
know that I like raunchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just scroll through the titles.
Yes, I know. I've got a sick mind.
I mean, I can't, off the top of my head, I don't recall, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you look through the titles and the titles could be like episode 96, the giant vagina that swallowed the valley, or something. I mean,
I think this week is bitch whelping and swinger comedy, because the guy that's on this week, who I love, Bill Devlin, talked about. He had dogs, and they do something called whelping, which I guess it was something with the dogs, and then he also did a comedy show for swingers. So it's just like what we called the episode, bitch whelping. So
did you hear of the story that who was it told? Oh, Howie Mandel. Uh-huh. He tells this story about this gig that he got that he couldn't turn down because somebody came to him and said, "Hey, do you want to take this gig?" And he was like, "Well, I don't know." And they were like, "No, it comes with money." And so he went, "Okay, how much money?" "Well, name your price." And so he named an outrageous price, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll get that." And then he goes, "Well, okay, I want it in cash." "Sure, cash, no problem." "Okay, where do you want the cash?" "Deliver it to the Comedy Store, and I'll go get it there." So he went and got it there, and sure enough, the cash showed up. So he was like, "Fuck, I guess I got to do the gig." So he goes to do the gig, and somebody stops him it's at this mansion that's way in the hills, and it's all exclusive there. So somebody stops him on the road and says, "Come this way, this is where you're performing." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So he gets ushered into the bathroom of this pool house from the outside entrance, and they go, wait here, we'll tell you when you're ready to go on." So he waits patiently. Well, while he's waiting patiently, people come in and take a piss and pretend he's not even there. So he's just standing there. And this is Howie Mandel won't shake somebody's hand, and people
really
are taking a piss in the
which
same
I
room.
relate to.
Yeah. And then they say, "Okay, come on in." And they walk him into the room, and he walked in, and it was some dude's bachelor party, but they were mid-orgy. It was a pile of fat dudes and whores.
Yeah.
And vegetables and God knows what. And he had to come and do 30 minutes of his act watching this pile of people fuck each other.
So which is the show? He had to watch the show while he's performing the show.
Yeah.
We're going to make Howie Mandel come and do this, right? Yeah. That's
and it
funny.
turns out that he was like the alibi. So that the guy could tell his fiance, "Oh, no, yeah, we had a bachelor party, but it was one of those things where it was just at Larry's house, and we had Howie Mandel come in."
Yeah.
So that he could hide the fact that he spent $100,000 on hookers or whatever. But
wow.
Yeah. Isn't that an elaborate ruse?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So he tells this story. I can't even remember why I started down this road. But that's a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah, where did that?
Swinger
come from?
comedy.
Oh yeah. No, the guy did do a gig for swingers. So yeah, you can hear that on the podcast. So I mean, I always try and. For some reason, my mind always just goes in the gutter with that. I mean, when I'm talking to somebody, not always, but I mean, it's.
But the gutter is a funny place.
It's a fun place to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fascinated by pretty much anything that is like it comes from sex or human interaction like that. It's
Especially deviant sex. I love humor about deviant sex. I mean, we knew each other for a grand total of about 90 seconds before somehow in this circle of conversation I tasted cum.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of a long time for him. Normally it's like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, I tend to go right there.
So, yeah. And take it easy, Pete. People are going to realize that we split a room last night. Anyway.
Oh, how nice. You guys are such good friends.
It was awfully sweet, actually.
A surprise.
You know, sometimes you like...
You guys end up staying in the same place?
Yes.
Oh,
and it was this shitty place in Hollywood where it was like, no, this place will be close. And I looked on, and it had like 4 stars. Maybe 4 stars out of 9. I don't know. But it looked like a decent
That's the
rating.
trick. If it's a 5-star hotel, but it's a 20-star rating.
Yeah. But it looked like a decent hotel. So I was like, oh, fuck it. And it's cheap. And it's great because it's not a perfect rating, but pretty good. So I went ahead and bought it. Unbeknownst to me, that rating was based on like averages where everybody voted like 1 for cleanliness and 2 for convenience, but like all stars for location.
Oh.
So it was all like a skewed average based on the fact that it was right smack dab in the middle of stuff. So
they trick you.
Yeah.
We literally opened the door, and you're like, "Oop, there's the bed."
Yeah.
I got to scoot sideways to get around it.
Where did you stay?
We're sitting at a table for 4, and the table for 4 was, I think, maybe you could fit this table for 4 and its surrounding seating area in that room. Maybe.
There's no door in the bathroom.
What?
Yeah. It was a curtain.
What?
And we don't give a shit. We've known each other a long time.
Like,
but yeah, I mean, this morning I got up and I went to take care of my business in the bathroom, and
so you did give a shit.
I was especially loud for some reason this morning. It was like I'm not sure why everything's so loud. I'm not sure what we ate yesterday, but I just woke up this morning with cannon farts. And I went into the bathroom and I'm like, there is nothing but like a curtain.
Yeah.
There is a piece of fabric separating us.
Yes. And it doesn't even cover the whole gap.
Yeah.
Oh, that
it's a good thing Pete's asleep was my thought. It's a good thing he's asleep. And then when I was finished and I took a shower and I came out.
You could do like next
he
week.
Wasn't asleep.
Oh, no, of course. Well, you woke up probably by that.
I did.
Cannon blast.
It was the last thing that woke me up. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll just get up, and I hope that it doesn't smell in here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
so
it was
are
funny.
you staying someplace else tonight, or are you going back?
Yeah, we're going back
tonight.
Yeah, because you already rented it, right, for the duration?
For as long as it was going to get rented, for sure.
Oh, that sucks.
We had enough. But we did wake up this morning and we walked out of the room not expecting anything, and there was coffee and donuts.
Yeah, and
That's
they were
nice.
lovely.
So, yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad.
And you were in the middle of
except for when
everything.
it was bad.
Yes.
But yeah,
In the middle
which was cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But speaking of in the middle of everything, we're in the middle of Barney's Beanery, and I'm so glad that we got to enjoy your
Loud motorcycle.
Yeah. If you're a Harley rider out there, good on you, but man, at some point you're going to fuck up somebody's podcast by driving by. I'm glad we got to enjoy your first Barney's Beanery experience.
Yeah, no, this is great. I'll definitely have to come back and take the kids. This is like the perfect comfort food kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mac and cheese here is ridiculously good.
It is ridiculous.
It was really good.
You had chicken noodle soup because you're under the weather.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we cheated you because you had chicken noodle soup. How was it?
No, it was really good. It was homemade soup.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
perfect. Yeah. No, I'm going to be like tomorrow. By the end of tomorrow, I'm going to be like a rock star. I'm going to feel great again because of the Barney's soup. So that was perfect.
Cool.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to keep you too long because you got to pick kids up, but we want to keep you as long as you want. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. We can keep talking. Let's see. What time is it? It's 2:00. Maybe for a few more minutes.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what else you guys want to talk about.
How did you figure out that you were a musical-based comedian?
Oh, that's a good. That's
what
a good
came
one.
first, actually, music or comedy?
Oh, music came first. I so I've always played guitar my whole life, and I started writing songs
Right.
for fun, and I'm a really good songwriter, and I always wanted to play my guitar and write songs. I just didn't know how to really do that. And
Who influenced you as a young musician?
as a songwriter,
Yeah.
you know, I've always loved music. I worked as a professional photographer, so I would get press passes to go photograph music at shows.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I was so inspired.
Did you grow up here?
I grew up I was born in Canada and
Okay.
raised in Texas.
Ah.
So I was all over shooting stuff around Houston and San Antonio and Austin. And, I mean,
So who'd you shoot?
all kinds of people. I mean, everything from like...
Anybody and everybody who came through Austin and San Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, big concerts with, all kinds of... There was this, like, Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, a big place outside of town where they get the big concerts all summer long. So, I mean, Van Halen would come through, and I get to shoot the first 3 songs of any concert in the pit between the stage and the first row.
Right.
So, literally, like, I was that close to...
Van Sharon.
Yeah, basically. Anybody who was at that
Yes.
place in those years.
I love it.
I have a portfolio of images and stuff, but I never thought that I would be playing on stage. I was very introverted, actually, which is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I was hiding behind a camera. My uniform was a pair of jeans, a baseball cap, and a bunch of gear because you carry 2 cameras and you have a fanny pack,
Right.
for
lenses
film
and film and bullshit. Yeah.
And so I was really good at it and very young. I got at 19. I created my own internship at the Associated Press.
Wow.
Yeah. So
They now call it the Lahna Turner internship. Yeah.
It was an unofficial internship in which I basically would follow around the lead photographer at the time like a puppy dog. I was just obsessed with learning everything I could about photography, and I loved it so much. But the summer before I graduated college, then I started shooting. I mean, it's actually like I worked my way into things. Another internship at one of the massive Houston newspapers. It was the Houston Post, and it folded literally the week before the summer. My last summer, I had one more semester to go before I was going to graduate, and that was just on the cusp of newspapers starting to fold all over the country.
Yeah.
And I started to realize there's really maybe this isn't something I'm going to have much of a future in. And so I took the money that I made. I didn't pay for college. My parents did. I'm very blessed that way. But I made a lot of money shooting images. And I took that money and I traveled for a year. And
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's a good decision.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I had saved up for a lens. It's called a 300-2.8. It's one of those sports lenses.
Yeah.
And
It's like 8 feet long, and you can take a picture of someone's epidermis at the
basically.
10-yard line while you're in.
Exactly. You need it to shoot sports. 300. It's just a beautiful lens. But at the time it was like a $5,000 lens, and I'd saved up for it so that I'd have it in my arsenal when I started working the following year.
Yeah.
Instead, I took that money and I went overseas and traveled and went like to India. And I spent 5 months. I'm Jewish. I did something called an Ulpan in Israel, where you live on a kibbutz and you learn the language, which I didn't really learn much Hebrew, but it was really fun. Learned about the history of Israel. It's pretty cool. Really cool. And I played a lot of guitar, and I had a lot of fun, and I wrote a lot of songs. But I actually feel like I wrote my first comedy song in that summer when I was supposed to work at the newspaper.
Yeah.
I just stayed up at my university and got extra credits to try and finish out school. And I wrote a song called Daddy's Hands.
Yeah.
It's an incest song, and it was inspired by a Judd song called Daddy's Hands. I heard that on the radio, and I wrote it on a piece of paper and put it on the chair next to me in the car. And when a tire flew out in front of me about 30 minutes outside of Houston, I flipped my car on the freeway, crashed, bad accident, totaled my car. It was a Volvo.
Holy shit.
Lyrics flew out the window of the car.
Oh.
I walked around the scene of the accident like 20 minutes later, and the lyrics were sitting on the side of the road about to blow away, and I picked them up and stuck them in my pocket and went to the hospital in an ambulance, woke up the next morning and was in terrible pain from the wreck, but picked up my guitar and put music to the lyrics.
Nice.
And a year later, I went into the Laugh Stop and I played my first open mic, and that was the night I also met my now ex-husband.
Yeah.
That night, and I never thought I would date him, but we became friends, and my whole world changed. And I think it was that, again, it's the universe pushing you, because the rec pushed me, and then the open mic. I did so well my first open mic.
I mean, think of what it took to get you off of the path you were on with the photography thing. I mean, it took a pretty monumental thing to
You're
get
right.
You saved up $5,000 for a lens.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's some dedication.
I was
Yeah.
going to be the best. I was going to be Diane Arbus. I don't know if you know who she is, but she was this woman who would take photos after the moment. So basically,
okay.
like, if you look her images up, they're incredible because they're just basically simple, normal people. A worker or just a whatever, and it's the moment after you would anticipate the picture to be taken.
Yeah.
And I loved that idea, and I love portraits, but I don't like conventional portraiture. Like, it's boring to me to just set lights up. So that was my goal. I wanted to be Diane Arbus. And
I thought when you said pictures after the moment, I envisioned
yes, as soon as you finished,
right,
back to the cum.
right after the moment. Yeah.
Why is that? Why does it all have to end after the moment? Women are
It doesn't.
seldom done after
It
the
doesn't.
moment.
Sometimes there's a sandwich.
I'm just getting started
Sandwich.
after the moment.
I'm just getting started. I'm getting loose over here. I need a nap.
No, let's keep going. Come on. But yeah, I mean, you're right. It does take. You know what? It takes massive, painful car crashes and massive life crashes for us to really change the path we're on. And you're going to make me cry.
Oh, well, then you're going to make me cry because I'm a sucker.
Yes,
he made me cry yesterday.
You're right. When you look at it in the context, it took something, and it threw my life in a completely different path, and I'm so happy with it.
Yeah.
It's the right path.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you're doing great on this, but let's nudge you over this way,
When you're, a young person and you nearly, I'm very fortunate. I walked away from that wreck and I had the only visible thing I had was a scratch on the back of my leg. I had body injuries and neck stuff.
Sure.
But nothing was wrong, and I could have very easily died that night. And I felt like this change in my soul. Like, when you get that close to possibly losing your life, nothing really matters.
Right.
You can
suddenly you understand you have some clarity about what's really important.
You're like, you know what? I am going to India.
Yeah.
I almost died. Who cares?
Yep.
It's a discriminator in my life. If I've got a decision and I can't quite decide, and well, there's not really a bad decision here, I usually just say, fuck it. I've almost been dead. I've had a bullet whiz right by my face.
Right, because you're in the military.
What's that?
You're in the military.
Yeah, well, even when I wasn't, and I was just running around with those
Oh,
guys.
that's just Tuesday.
Yeah, it's just Tuesday. Hell, I've been shot at. I'm hit by a tank, rocket, mortar. I mean, on and on and on. So what do I got to worry about?
Also
Right.
tasted cum. Let's not kid ourselves here.
That's deep in the trenches.
You gotta survive.
It's not so bad, I'll be honest,
Hey,
fellas.
a guy's got to get through the Navy,
In the Navy. It's just semen.
Yeah.
Oh, waka waka.
Waka waka.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really is it inspired change. I always like to think whenever I have a decision to make, I like to go to that whole, like, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
You could die.
Yeah.
Is that so bad?
It's not the worst thing. 'cause
I mean,
they
it's
could be
going to
dead.
happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that is the worst thing. I intend to be alive as long as possible.
Right.
But
We're trying to prolong everything,
Yeah.
but, it's going to happen.
But I mean,
So
if
how
you
bad
did
is
die,
it?
the dying part would probably be the worst thing that happens because once it's over, then it's.
the two most pinnacle moments in your life is when you were born and when you die, and you don't remember either one of those.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's what you make in between.
That's
how I
exactly
feel.
it.
Seems like a poetic place to end.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
I do want to say, though, I'm a fan, and I can speak for Pete. We're fans, and we're incredibly honored to be part of this part of your journey because
Thank
this is
you.
a special spot.
I'm honored to be sitting with you guys.
Yeah.
This is lovely. I've really enjoyed myself.
Thank you.
And I'll say this to the folks that listen to our show, even the ones in Australia and Canada, because we love you guys as well.
All four of y'all.
I will tell you personally, Lahna is awesome.
Yep.
That you were super flexible. It's a crazy time of year in
She's
Hollywood.
got her foot behind her neck right now.
No, but you were very accommodating. You don't have to be, but that's who you are, and I appreciate it because we love these encounters. You've got a podcast. It's the encounters that you get that are so enriching in our lives, and you've made our
Sometimes
life
you get
more
to bottle
rich.
some magic.
Yeah, and we want more. We want to see you again.
Okay.
And if you're in the Bay and doing the shows,
Let us know.
we're gonna make you
Yeah.
tacos
Okay.
and dinner and everything else too.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you. I hope to
Yeah.
get up there soon.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Lahna Turner,
Thanks, guys.
everybody.